Hi guys, welcome to this video. In the previous video we learned about text formatting with the present properties of CSS3. In this video we are going to learn about box model, which is an important topic in CSS3. Actually, every element in CSS and HTML5 is having a box around it. So when we know about this box and we understand it completely, so we can design good layouts, responsive layouts, and we can structure our website in a good manner. So let's dive into it and understand what the box model is. First, let's say in general in our life, when we talk a box, we say that a box might have a width, it might have a height, and when we put this box somewhere, so it might have any space from the other elements around it, which we say here like margin, and we put some content inside that box, and the content might be smaller, then there will be some space around the content till the border, and the box might have a border as well, so we say border. With this all said, the box must have a width, must have a height, must have a margin, a padding, and a border. So what these all are, let me show you in a diagram from the mozilla.org. Here you can see on the right side of the screen that we have the content, and the content is actually the height and width defines the content. So we have the height and width here. Around that we have the padding, which is the space between the border and the content. After that we have the border itself, and around the border we have the margin, which is a space between our element and the other elements around it. I hope you have understand this. So let's create a box with the help of HTML and CSS. I'm using a div to create the box as using the standard as CSS style. So I'm giving a class and giving class name of box, and using the internal CSS to show you how the CSS and HTML works together. Later I will move the CSS code to our external CSS. So style tag, and inside that dot box. So our box must have a width, but we should give the width of like we can say 200 pixel. This is as optional as you want, and that it must have a height according to our definition. Then that's okay for creating a box, because you can see that the content, the place where the content must be, should have a width and height, and then you can mention the padding, the margin, or the border. Let's create a border as well. Border and border left, for example, we can say 1 pixel of solid style and red color. The border on the right should be 2 pixel of solid style and a blue color. And check it on the browser what we get. As you can see, we get our box. Because I've mentioned different colors, that's why it's looking like this. If we just make the colors same, now we got all red, and the width of each color is different. You can see that the width of the right is 2 pixel, and the width on the bottom is also 2, and they are thicker than the other two borders. So this was to make you understand that we can change the border size, width, color, and style. Even if we want, we can say dashed border, so we get some dashed border around here, or we can simply use the solid one. So with that all, if you put some content inside our box, to make the overview clear, let's see, we have the content here now, but we have the content, we have the border, we are missing two things: the margin and the padding. You can see we have a padding between the content and the border, but in our example we don't have the padding here. You can see on the left that the text is almost attached to the border, so when we add padding, these two will get separated. let's say padding on the left 10 pixel. Save it. You can see that we can add padding, and if you want padding on the right, you can say padding right, and let's say 10 pixels from the right. So we got 10 pixels. Let's justify the paragraph to better understand the padding on the right and left. So we can select as I said in complex manner dot box and go to the select the box. Inside the box select the p tag and text align and justify. Let's say okay. Now it is looking better to understand the left and right padding, as well as we can add padding on the top and bottom. We got here 20 pixel, 20 pixel, 10. One thing is that here we have written lots of CSS properties: border, left, right, top, bottom, and they all have the same value. So we can use a shortened way to make it short and concise. Let's say we, instead of using these 4 properties, we can just say border colon and give it a thickness like 1 pixel and a style of solid and a color of red. Let's say nothing changed. It means that we can shorten the border for all sides with this just one statement. And the same way we can do with the padding. We have padding for the left, right, top and bottom, but here the condition is different. The padding on the left and right are 10 pixel and the top and bottom are 20. So for the border all were 1 pixel solid and red. That's why we could make this shorten. But we can do, we have a method here, removing this and writing padding, just padding. The first number will be for the top and bottom, and the second number will be for the left and right. For the top and bottom we have 20 pixel, for the left and right we have 10 pixel. Let's save it. For the left and right we have 10 pixel, and now 20 pixel from the top and bottom, 10 pixel from left and right. So we could make it shorter as well using the shorten method. Okay, now only one thing is missing, and that is the margin of the box. How can we add? The same way as we added border padding, we can use the margin. We can say margin left if we need to just add a space between our elements from the left side. So we can say margin left 20 pixel. Here added 20 pixel, but from the top it is not added, so we can add from the top as well. Margin top 20 pixel. Save it. Yeah, we got 20 pixel from the top. And we can add from, we don't need from the right side and from the bottom, but if we had any element on the right we might need it that time, but now we don't need it. So we can make it short as well with saying, just saying margin let's say 20 pixels from top and bottom, 10 pixels from left and right in the semicolon. So we got the margin here. Now our box model is almost complete. One thing that we have to consider that the first the width and height that I have given in the standard box model, let me write it for you here. And the standard box model, the width and height addresses to the content. So it means that the width and height of our paragraph is 200 by 200, not our box. As you can see, our box shape is not square. So in a standard box model, again I'm repeating that the width and height addresses to the content. As you can see, the width and height references to the content. We have added a padding to the top of 20 pixel and to the bottom also 20 pixel. So 20, 20, 40 pixels. So it means that the height of the box model with the padding till border is about 240 pixel. And if you consider the margin as well, 20 pixel of margin at the top and bottom, then 20, 20, 40%. So it will be 280 pixel of height. And for the width, we have 200 width for the content, 10 pixel left and right, 20 pixel of padding, and 20 pixel of margin, then it will be 220. Actually 22, because 1 pixel of thickness we have for the border. Let me show it here on the browser. Right click on your browser and select the inspect. If you click here to select the element, when we select the element, 200 and by 200 is the content, 20 pixel for the padding, 20 pixel for the margin, 1 pixel for the border width. So almost it is 240 281. Overall the height will be 282, sorry, and the width will be 242. If I select it here, you can see under the box 222 by 242. So it is somehow, I think it is a mess, because when we write width 200 and height 200, it means that all with the border, with the padding, with the margin, it should be 200, and the standard box model adds this all, extends the width and the height. So that is somehow mess and wrong. How can we solve this problem or this mess? We can just say that the box should have a box sizing of border box. It means that the width and the height are final, and when you add the padding and margin, you should add them inside these dimensions, not more than that. So now we get, if I come and inspect it and check here, you can see under the box that is 200 by 200, and if we come to the model, it is 178 for the width and 158 for the height. So now it is somehow clear that overall our box model is 200 by 200. Hope you have understand something, and this was an important title to be discussed. Thank you for this video.